U-486. U-486 was sunk off Bergen on April 12, 1945. The 700 plus Type 7 U-boats built in a number of different versions between 1935 and 1945 formed the backbone of the German Navy's U-boat fleet. The different models were designated A to F, of which 7C was produced in the largest numbers, 663, and bore the brunt of the war in the Atlantic and Mediterranean. At first, these submarines achieved great success, but as Allied countermeasures such as radar and ASDIC sonar improved, and the seas were more systematically patrolled from the air, losses increased. From 1942 to 43 onward, the number of anti-aircraft guns carried by the U-boats was significantly increased, and the 3.5-inch or 88mm gun often removed. Numbers of 0.8-inch or 20mm and 1.5-inch 37mm anti-aircraft guns were mounted on the aft of the vessel in single, twin, or sometimes even quadruple configurations. A strengthening of the pressure hull enabled the diving depth to be increased to 660 feet, and retractable snorkels started to be fitted in 1943. This allowed the batteries to be recharged while the U-boat was submerged and enabled large distances to be covered safely using the diesel engine. In addition, passive radar warning receivers were designed to ensure that threats were identified in good time. Nonetheless, a total of 40,600 U-boat crew, 30,246 failed to return, and 5,338 were taken prisoner, although 2,882 merchant vessels for a total of over 14 million GRT, gross registered tonnage, and 175 warships were sunk by German U-boats. 784 out of 863 submarines were lost. U-486 went on only 2 patrols in the North Sea and English Channel, sinking 4 ships totaling about 20,000 GRT, gross registered tonnage, before being sunk by British submarine HMS Tapir on April 12, 1945. U-35 was a Type 7A submarine sunk in the North Sea by British destroyers on November 29, 1939. Statistics. Type 7C U-boat. Commissioned April 22nd, 1944. Fate: sunk by torpedoes from British submarine HMS Tapir off Bergen on April 12, 1945. Displacement: 790 tons, 871 tons submerged. Length, beam, draft, respectively: 220 feet, 2 inches, 20 feet, 4 inches, 15 feet, 9 inches. Armor: sides, Armor sides, deck, none. Engines, surfaced, submerged. Two-man diesel engines delivering 3,200 horsepower, two electric motors delivering 750 horsepower. Maximum speed, 17.6 knots. 7.6 knots submerged. Range, 8,500 nautical miles at 10 knots surfaced, 80 nautical miles at 4 knots submerged. Crew, 44. Later up to 57 due to increasing number of anti-aircraft guns. Armament, 4 forward and 1 by stern 21 torpedo tubes, 14 torpedoes or mines, 1 by 3.5-inch gun, and 1 by 0.8-inch anti-aircraft guns. Diving depth, 330 feet. So here's a production about U-486 from the front and toward the back. And I don't imagine a lot of these are surviving today. That has been the U-boat production